So this week's drama was mice in the house. Oh, it was fun. Not really, because somebody else in the house was a little less patient with the little brats that were leaving calling cards everywhere and running around and all that sort of thing in the kitchen. And they were quite happy to dispose of these mice whatever way necessary. I, on the other hand, was not going to be able to sleep thinking of these poor little things being tortured to death. So I spent a lot of time, a lot of expense, and a little bit of tension trying to rescue these mice from themselves or the other person. I bought mouse repellents. They didn't listen to them. Literally listen to them. It was supposed to be a noise that humans can't hear, but mice can. I also bought, one of them was like a magnetic field one, so it goes through the wires in the house. It's not something you want to have on a long-term basis, either of them, just for potential health hazards, but short-term I thought I'll be nice and deal with it. And then I read the instructions and it said 2 to 4 weeks that may take to actually come into effect. So I didn't have 2 to 4 weeks, or they didn't have 2 to 4 weeks. So I then went back and bought one of those one-way mouse traps so they can get in, but then they can't get out again until you let them out. And I remember one night I actually had one. I thought it was the only mouse at the time, but anyway, I had one in the sink. And there were all these dishes there and a little bit of water. So I was trying very carefully to try and catch this very fast, very jumpy mouse without getting it drenched in dirty water, because that's gross and uncomfortable. And also without squashing it or breaking a leg or a tail or something nasty. Yes, and I'd pounce and I'd dig and it just kept trying to escape me. And I was thinking, why can't you just understand I'm trying to save your life? But it didn't get it. And then I was thinking a bit later, as I do, is there a lesson in this? What lesson could I find? And I realized the lesson is sometimes we think we're saving ourselves by holding on to that crutch, that drink that we need after work, or that chocolate that we need when our kids are screaming in our ears. I don't have kids, but I've heard other people's kids and it still makes me kind of want to eat chocolate. These sorts of things. And there's a verse that says something about forsaking the pleasures of sin for a season. And sometimes we use things that we know are no good for us to make us feel better. And we think and we not just think, we hope that is going to make us feel better. It may in the short term, usually in the long term, it doesn't help. And if that is something that is a guilty pleasure and is actually keeping us from going to God, it's definitely not going to save us in the long run. But the other thing is, it's like we don't trust God. We say, yeah, I know you promised peace. I know you promised joy, but I don't trust you. And so I actually this thing kind of works for me and I enjoy it and I don't want to give it up, and I'm scared to give it up because I'm worried that what's on the other side and what you are offering is not as good. And trust me, these mice are probably not as comfortable as being in the little cozy house with the kitchen, but they're alive and they're not eating rat bait. So sometimes things that are comfortable and we don't want to get rid of are more comforting short term, sure, but long term, we can deal with a little bit of discomfort as long as it keeps us, alive. I did have a couple of verses, so I will read them now. back up my story. So the first one comes from John 14:27. Oh, I pulled the wrong cord. 14:27. Okay, so it says, and these are the words of Christ. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world gives, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. And along with that, we then go further down to 1 John 1:4. And it says, and these things write we unto you, that your joy may be full. So if we want true joy, true peace, that may not look quite as attractive, but is actually going to be better for us, we need to try and trust God and let go of the kitchen. Let go of the comforts of the kitchen. All right. Take care. God bless. Bye.